Dreamlights, welcome back to the channel. Laynie here. Today's video is one of my most requested videos and a video that has been a long time coming. So it is a valley tour video. I have officially completed my entire valley decorating. I have almost 1,200 hours into the game to complete this, so I'm really excited to go ahead and share with you my completed valley. So grab a cozy spot, maybe some coffee, and sit back and enjoy the video. We are going to go ahead and start off by touring our plaza. So here is our entrance up here to the plaza. Now actually, before I even do that, let me go ahead and show you guys how many items I have in my valley. So as you can see, I'm using 781 unique items with a total of 5,143. Almost not quite at the 6,000 mark, but we are close enough in my opinion. So I still have a lot of items and everything that I could lay out there, but I have used and filled my valley quite a bit. So let's go ahead now and do our walkthrough. As you come up to my plaza, I have what I have kind of looks like a little roadway with different sections of the valley blocked off. So our first side is our restaurant side. This is where I have Remy's place, also Tiana's, and Remy's house is over to the side there. So let's go ahead and take a peek here. Now I have some of the new wrought iron items set out here. Of course, I would not have these items if it weren't for my lovely members who gifted me the wrought iron. So thank you so much. We went ahead and added them to our valley. A little bit of seating area here for Remy. If we were to go off to the left side of Remy's, you have an entrance towards Tiana's place, and look who's coming to visit us. And we have her cute little stall out to the side there. If we head off behind Tiana, we have the little outdoor restaurant area. I don't have anything on the tables or any of that, but we have it cutely decorated out here. You also have it all surrounded by some plaza trees and plaza hedges. You can go out to the side here, the back entrance. It's just a little walkway in our plaza, but we've got that all connected there. And if we want, we can even walk around Tiana's place. I don't have anything set up here. I do love this little archway awning type thing. This is so cute. But this is where I have their restaurant all set up, and I love it. I love all the little details. I love the wrought iron fence. Well, actually it's not wrought iron, but the iron brick fence and everything. I thought about putting the wrought iron fence there. I may move it, but I love the brick fence. Now off to the other side of our little roadway, we have our kind of little, I guess you could say, apartment area. This is where all the Monsters Inc., Mike and Sully's apartments are. It is also where I have my portal for anyone to come visit. So nice little plaza type area for them. We also have an area, beep beep guys. We were to follow down behind the back area here. This is kind of like their backyard where they can come maybe have a nice little get-together party. We have nice seating areas underneath the gazebo and around the fountain. I really wish they would allow us more of these fountains. They are gorgeous. It also has an area that you can go off here down to the meadow. We also have a back kind of alleyway where I have my flowers that spawn, and currently right now the marshmallow bushes. Now, if we were to continue again across the road on the right side, we have our little shopping district. This is where I have Daisy's shop as well as Scrooge. Now, I love Daisy's shop. Her shop is a real unique kind of shape and everything, but it being a unique shape kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to place in this space, which I did have that difficulty when I was trying to design this, so I'm still happy with how it turned out. But this is our cute little plaza area. I gave them a nice little, maybe a bit more fancy seating area because of course it's Scrooge. We have the beautiful Cinderella clock tower. That's what I think it is. I feel like it's just Cinderella clock tower, even if it isn't. That's what it is to me. If we were to go ahead and go across our little area to the other side again, we have Remy's house, and his house actually opens up to the front yard, being our Zen garden. This was one of my favorite builds to come up with. I absolutely love this, and I will probably keep this. I'll just probably move it to another area, maybe combine it with something for Mulan in her build. My characters love to be here, and as you can see, Fairy Godmother's over there kind of talking to herself. But they love to go ahead and hang out here. It's one of their favorite spots. I catch them in all the time. But we have Remy's house here filled with some flowers. I thought it was kind of a nice little thing. Off to the side of Remy's house and towards the back of the restaurants, we have Mulan's little tea stall. Now, unfortunately, I didn't really know where to stick her tea stall, and the fact that I have Mulan in Eternity Isle and we can't put her tea stall there. This is kind of just where it ended up. I don't mind it here. I think it fits pretty well. Okay, and that is my plaza. Now we're going to go ahead and go up to the Forgotten Lands as well as the Sunlit Plateau. Here is our Sunlit Plateau. This is a little entrance, a very jungle feeling. As you can see, I kind of went a little bit hog wild, I guess you would say, with all of the fun bushes and underbrush that you get from Eternity Isle, because it's, you know, the one little space items. It helped me make this feel very full and lush, and I love the vibe that it gives. Before we go ahead and do Sunlit Plateau though, let's head off to the Forgotten Lands. We have Scar's area. I always kind of consider, for some reason, Scar's is part of the Forgotten Lands because it's a spooky space. So here is Scar's space. We have it all decorated, kind of being very, you know, limited of items. They're kind of all dead, same items. It's kind of, yeah, if anything spawns, like all the wildebeest bones, they go ahead and spawn in this area. I will leave them unless it gets to be too much to where I can't walk around. All right, let's go up. Officially Forgotten Lands. We have a nice little walkway that leads us directly to the tree house in the center. But first off, we have Goofy's stall. I also have a little chest here. Now this chest is for me, like if I had pumpkins and everything. If I have too much, I usually use the chest to drop things off so I can get all my pumpkins. But as we walk down our spooky path, we come to a couple spooky areas. The first area is our decorative build for the Forgotten Castle. I love this build. I think it's so fun. I have had to edit it since I went ahead and put it in, but it's a fun one. If you go ahead and walk over to the left, we have our more, I guess you could say, fancy cemetery. I have 3 of them in the Forgotten Lands. This is one that has, you know, more of a regal headstone with throne, so maybe a king and queen of the Forgotten Castle live here, and this was their tombstone area for their cemetery. Very spooky, kept with a lot of the darker color vibes, the forgotten trees, the red trees. We also have some of the haunted trees from the first star path in here. This area did have a moat, but it used the Touch of Magic rugs, and they were so much bothersome, I just went ahead and removed them. Although now we can get rid of that stuff, but still, it was too annoying. But I kept the way it looked. It just does not have the moat anymore. I love this space, especially with those lights when they green glow. It's so pretty. It's got that eerie feel. We have some of the hot pots. On the other side, if you look over here, we have another one of our cemetery. Maybe this one is a little bit less kept up type thing. We've got some of the natural stonework coming through, that sort of stuff. Little bit smaller, little not as elegant as the one off to the side. Now across our way is our lovely favorite neighbor, the Pumpkin King, Jack Skellington. I loved this build. I can't believe I waited so long to create it, but it is so cute. I think it definitely has the spooky vibes. You also get a little bit of Christmassy vibe. We've got a grand entrance here for Jack. The center is where he can go ahead and be his Santa Claus self. And if you dare to sit on his lap and receive a gift from him, this is where you would do so. We have our Mayor Mobile over here. I always call it the Mayor's Mobile because he was the one driving it. But he might be taking care of a lovely coffin here, who knows. We now have a cemetery in this space, so kind of like one little off there, but then one off to the other side. But this is Zero's area, and we have a couple skeletons, scarecrows to represent Jack, like at the beginning of the movie during Halloween when he was when he was a scarecrow. Okay, and as we head off over to the side here, we have the lovely Halloween tree that Jack comes in through. I think this is a really cute tree. I kind of hope we get some more trees, especially with Sally coming. That would be kind of fun to have the different trees for decorative purposes. This is our smaller cemetery here. Again, I am using some of the Zero companion houses. I also included the Cortez gold chest here, kind of like it was maybe a coffin or something that is opened. Maybe someone is out wandering the Forgotten Lands. And we have Jack Skellington's Hill there, of course his house, and if you follow this pathing, it leads you to that lovely little crystal shrine there. I still feel like we need to do something with that shrine. Otherwise, I would love to be able to get rid of it. It takes up space. Good realty space. All right, let's head back through and go off to the right. Now, of course, we have our house, or our tree house right in the center. So I kind of just blended it around, kind of put a bunch of items around it to kind of blend it into the rest of the biome. If you head to the left side, and you have our little traveling well set up. This is kind of just an area I made for this specifically. I also kind of wanted it to have a little bit of open space because there's some areas in my Forgotten Lands where we don't have open space. It seems to be really like filled in with trees, like this one, my little spooky tree walkway area here. You don't want to go down this, but secretly you do, because in the end it brings you to the magical area. So this is pretty much my magic area for our wizards and fairy godmothers. So I created this build because I thought it would be really cute to have them in the area. It would also make it where this Forgotten Lands isn't as spooky and everything. It might be just more magical than scary spooky type thing. So we've got the fairy godmother, a bench here where maybe all the villagers come to sit and ask for some, blessings, however you want to see it. And we have, of course, her Cinderella clock tower there that she needs to go ahead and go by. We also have our cute little pumpkin patch here. Now this pumpkin patch I plant pumpkins here. There's about 160. And we use those to go ahead and do my pumpkin farming. Now, if we were to walk over to this direction, this is kind of an entrance as well, but if you follow this pathing, it gives you different pathing to Merlin's space. Hers is more bright, sunny, sparkly magic, while his is more, I guess I feel like it's just a different type of, it's more of the masculine magic, I guess you could say. So we've got some of the celestial items in here to help represent that, especially since it kind of has the same vibe as his house. And as you follow that down, of course, you come to his house. You can also go off in that path direction to get to the crystal shrine, or if you go off to the left side, you have his kind of like outdoor study where he can do some more of his experiments or read books, that sort of thing. We have a celestial well right there. And then next to him, and actually in between the fairy godmother, this is their cute little tea area. This is where they come and have tea. So Merlin's got his own chair, fairy godmother has her chair. We've got a couple of the Dreamlight trees surrounding the space, and this is where they can come and maybe just have a nice little talk. I honestly picture them as a couple. I don't know why, but I do. I feel like they could be a cute little couple together. And that, of course, is my Forgotten Lands. All right, guys, now we have our lovely sunlit plateau. So let's take a peek here. Okay, as we walk through, off to the side here, we have Goofy's little stall. I thought it was kind of a cute way to incorporate him. He is still right there. I try and keep some of his stalls like right up at the entrance, so I'm always able to just go directly to it. So I kind of try and do that for all of the biomes. We also have our traveling well. This is kind of like our plaza area, like our main entrance area to the biome. I kind of like to decorate that sometimes, having a main entrance area. So we've got that, but our first lovely little build is for my Labyrinth inspired build. Favorite movie of mine growing up. I went ahead and created this build before we got all of the Alice in Wonderland items, and I used a lot of the hedge trees and bushes for this, along with like some waterfalls, maybe some of the craftable ruins I threw in there. And And I kind of just went ahead and planned out our cute little labyrinth here. We also put some of the trees on the lower levels, like in the plaza or the meadow, to kind of fill in this space and maybe make it look like our waterfall is coming from more of a wall that's covered in vines. As we walk through here, we've got some of the gold items from like the Beauty and the Beast collection, some of the oil lamps. I really like the oil lamps in this. See, there's one of those gold items I was talking about. This is the center of our labyrinth, and I chose to go ahead and use the orb pillar for this, the one that came with the sunlit plateau. I thought it was a really nice touch to go ahead and incorporate this. I don't use the orbs in every single biome. I have an orb pillar up in the Forgotten Lands as well, which I didn't show to you, but it's there. And then here, the rest of them are all in the Glade of Trust. But this is kind of just a nice little area. Like, I felt like it was like a magical entrance here. You came here and you make it through the labyrinth and you come to where maybe you can make a magical wish or something like that. So that was kind of just the vibe I was having. We also have a couple of the turning red panda statues here, lots of different foliage, some of the seating areas, really nice little space. And now if we were to head back out and off to the left, this takes us out of the labyrinth, or it could be even the short entrance into the labyrinth. Either way, we've got a couple entrances here. This area takes us off to kind of more of a jungle space. You can also access some of the waterway there to do some fishing. But as you go through this natural jungle area, you can see Casita off in the distance here. So this is where I have my Mirabelle build. Now this was actually one of the first builds I created when I started majorly decorating this one and Wally's. So we've got this all set up here. I really like this build. It was different. I ended up going ahead and changing it when we got the foliage and trees from the Eternity Isle, so it definitely made it a lot fuller when I added those into it, and I really like how it did that. We've got a nice little seating dining area for Mirabelle and her family, and then off to the side of the house we have a nice little seating area. Maybe you come out here, roast some marshmallows, wrap yourself up in some blankets, but they have a beautiful view of this waterfall. It's one of the Nala waterfalls. I think this is a gorgeous item. I kind of don't know why I don't use it very often. I've literally used it once. So we've got them all set up here, bright, beautiful colors, trying to go ahead and replicate a lot of the colors in the house to be around the house with the foliage. All right, as we head back over here, we are going to head this way, and this kind of takes us to a little fork. If you were to go off to the left, we have a little private pool area there and an area to the Forgotten Lands, and the right takes us to Wally. So let's quick go over to the left. So again, you can walk over to the Forgotten Lands, but let's check out our little private. This is like a hot springs, in my opinion. Nice little area. Anyone can come and sit. It's kind of more natural kind of feel, maybe a quiet space to come and have a nice little soak. Also fishing. It's right next to Mirabelle as well. So like I said, nice little private area. As we head back over, you can kind of see Wally's space there. We'll wander over and check him out here. We have a nice little space for him, flowers, lots of bushes. We know Wally's house is a little bit of an eyesore, but I think I helped that out by going ahead and giving him a nice like front yard space, made it feel very homey for him. We've got a little space for him to come out and sit here with friends maybe. And if you go down here, we have another area for him. I gave him a small little junkyard, kind of just to go ahead and vibe with what he naturally has. A collection inside, maybe there's some outside, just things he's collected, and it is right next to his cute little garden. We've got lots of pumpkins in there today. But just a little sweet little space for Wally, and I feel it fits him really well. All right, we will head across our bridge here. As you can see, there is our labyrinth again. And we have a little space that goes ahead, pathing. You can go ahead and access the mine from here. But again, all real kind of jungly feel vibes. Even though it's like a plateau, it's supposed to be kind of, I guess, more not desolate, that's what Scars is, but more open. I wanted it to have that nice jungly field vibe. But that is my lovely little sunlit plateau. All right, now we are over here for our Forgotten Lands. So when you first come up to my Forgotten Lands, I've got a couple different builds here. We've got a little bit of more of a foresty feel, and then we've got over on the other side, the left side here, we've got more of the town feel. So as we walk through our pathing here, we've got, again, Goofy's stall kind of up front and center, but it is across from our lovely grand entrance here with lions to our Beauty and the Beast. Now, Beauty and the Beast is my absolute favorite, so I adored this build. When I created this build, I was wanting a lot of symmetry to it, a lot of grandeur feel to it. So we've got some of the brick and iron fencing. We use a lot of the topiary. We have a lot of gold colors. I also tried to keep with the same color palette as the castle itself. So there are some purples, pinks, blues. Even I feel like the tannish color could be considered a little bit of the gold. So we have that in here. I also played with the pathing in this build. So we have two different pathings, and it helps kind of break up the monotonous of the stone pathing here. So, and also gives us a bright, nice, shiny gold to it. We have, of course, some gold items here, lights, candelabras. We have some of the fairy godmother little seating benches. We have Beauty and the Beast fountain here. Another reason why I put some gold, because there's gold in there. And of course it replicates off to the other side, the same seating areas as well. The only changes it has for symmetry is when you come up to the castle on either side. So if you go ahead and go off to the left, you have kind of the more romantic vibey feel. This is like the special dinner, you know, underneath the stars, candlelit supper, that sort of thing. And so we've got that all set out here. We've got some of the beautiful columns. I love the marble columns. I love the ombre effect from the purpley pink to the blue. We've got an area where maybe they've got someone playing music for them. All the different candelabras. We've even got some melted candles here besides the ones included in the little dining area. Some of the cute little cherry blossom trees are here. Just still gives it that whole romantic feel. Quiet, nice little dinner for Beast and Belle. We also include some of the lanterns from the Christmas Star Path. I love these lanterns. They're so pretty. As we go off to the right side, we have a more relaxed but private and still could be romantic space. We've got a little bit of an apple orchard here with some raspberries. Again, some of the lighting, all candelabras, some of the oil. And of course, we have a little tea area and our cute little picnic blanket. All of the characters love this little tea set. They all come up and just stare at it. So funny and cute. All right, let's head back through and we will go across the river on the bridge here and look at our lovely city style build, which most of you might recognize. This is my Bridgerton inspired build. I still really love this build. I think it's a lot of fun. It probably is time for it maybe to come down, but I'm still enjoying it. If we head off to the left side, first off, we have this little area, and of course Tiana's using it. She's coming here just to have a nice quiet space to go ahead and sit and read, and I love that. I kind of love having those little spaces, calm places. Like growing up in Montana, you like to maybe just be able to go out and sit somewhere and listen to the water or nature itself, birds, that sort of thing, and that's what it feels like. All right, as we walk down our lovely street-inspired pathing here, we have our house buildings off to the side, the Bridgerton home here, as well as a lot of the park entrances. I use those to go ahead and replicate different houses or buildings. And then across the other way, we have our little park area. Now this was kind of like the idea, this was a park that they would come to and go ahead and go for a walk and get to know who would maybe be their significant other, something like that, or even just walk with friends. So we've got that little area decorated around here. We also have Lady Tremaine's house here, which is actually my Modiste house, which is the dressmaker. So inside it is decorated to be a dressmaker house, like you go there and get dresses all the pretty fancy dresses in Dreamlight are decorated and created there. So that is what I have there. Then we have kind of like this entrance off here that kind of goes in to give something for Elsa. She totally got gypped with her ice cave, whatever you want to call it, and so we decided to give her a little something. She's got some pretty flowers. She does have a little decorative purpose here of the ice fountain, which I thought was kind of a nice little addition. I still feel like she needs a little more something, but it was kind of just a nice little blend. Maybe some chairs or something. She maybe needed a seating area there, picnic tables. But we have her all set up there. As we head back out, you can head down the street again and of course go up to the Forgotten Lands, or you can go ahead and go off to the left here through one of the plaza entrances, and it takes you to kind of another little park private area. I call this my orangery. Obviously they're lemons, but that was for the inspiration of Bridgerton. Another area where you can come and get those items, sit, you know, visit with friends, have a nice quiet space in the valley. All right, now let's go ahead, head back out, and we will go ahead and tour the rest of the Forest of Valor. Okay, if we head down here, we come to where I have like a little bit more natural feeling. I still wanted to keep that there's a bit of a forest with some things built in. So we've got, you know, some of what our pine trees, that sort of thing. We also have our well here. I love the spawning of these stumps with the mushrooms. I think they are some of the cutest things. So if they spawn in an area, and most of them spawned around here, it kind of gave me like a little bit of a fairy core vibe, cottage core, so I totally went with it and kept them. Obviously I kept them, a lot of them throughout my forest. I kind of have a tendency not to get rid of them. This side is a little orchard area for our coffee beans and our cocoa beans. Now the reason for this is because this area is our Mad Hatter Tea Party and coffee shop build. This is definitely a cottagecore inspired build. It's also Alice in Wonderland for me. I love Alice in Wonderland, one of my absolute favorites. So I kind of blended them all together. Originally, I had my little Mad Hatter Tea Party set up. It was down in my meadow, but when we got the cute little mushroom house, I had to go ahead and move it up here next to it. And so we wanted to go ahead and incorporate that into there. You have a nice little entrance or exit from the beach to the forest from here. And of course we have our cute little mushroom house, absolutely adorable. This is one of my favorite houses in the game. I love it. And it does have a coffee shop inside, which is run by our crazy Mad Hatter. If you head off into this direction, you do have a nice little picnic area. Again, I love having these little spaces. I think they're just so cute and cozy. Definitely gives a cottagecore vibe feel. I love this picnic blanket though. This one is one of my favorites. I love all the colors, and I also love all the patterns on the pillows themselves. As we head in this direction, we have a little bit more of a natural feel with just a lot of more bushes for the decoration, no real furniture. Of course, we have our blueberry bushes, a tree, but this is kind of like a blend-in space, kind of like a courtyard to go up to our lovely frozen, oh my goodness, what is it? Frosted Heights. But that is my entire oh my goodness, Forest of Valor. It's hard to keep all these straight, guys. All right, let's go take a look at my Frosted Heights. All right, here is, I guess you could say, another courtyard for our Frosted Heights. This is where I have Kristoff's stall. We have Goofy's stall here as well. I have an area where I have all my flowers go ahead and spawn. This kind of keeps them out of the build, which is kind of nice. It also makes it easier to get them if I need them. If you go over the bridge here, you go to my Frozen inspired, I guess you can say, Iridelian build. And then if you were to go off in this direction, this takes you to my Tinkerbell inspired build. This is for the winter fairies, so where her sister Perry lives, where Lord Mallory lives, Dewey, the little records keeper fairy. This was all kind of inspired for that movie. So let's go ahead, walk through and take a peek. We have some of the fairy godmother lanterns here to give us a nice entrance. We also have a lot of, I tried my best to do a fairy core with this. Like, I feel like the little snow flurry clouds made it real fairy-like as well. We've got some additional large items like the snowflakes, maybe they crafted. Those are from the Christmas Star Path. We've got some of the large pumpkin lanterns popping out for a little bit more sparkle. We have some of the flowers from Rapunzel there. We've got some of the celestial items, again, to have that fairy feel. A lot of the frosted feel too, make it real cold. I also threw in some of those starlight projectors to give like a fairy ambiance with the aura that they give off. You can go in either direction. If you head that way, you get in the same direction, or that way, it's just a roundabout kind of way. We use some of the beautiful winter arches, again, from the Christmas Star Path. I used a lot of those items in this. So, plus I also like the vibe it gives, definitely feels wintry. I love the archway itself and all the lights. I feel like they're like fairy lights. So let's go ahead and follow this pathing down here. Mind all the angles. When you decorate, sometimes the angles are not the best. As we walk through here, we have a bench from the Christmas Star Path as well. We have the cute little reindeer or deer family here. I kind of feel like, it's some animals in the woods for the fairies. They sit there and look after them. There's another one of those projectors. As we walk around, I did sporadically put those snow flurries around. I will admit, those kind of are not the best for views. They definitely block your view. Now, the center of this build has our traveling well, which I kind of thought was kind of cool. It was almost like a way that they could maybe travel to the other fairy realms, if you were to think about it. Again, traveling well, right across from our little pond here with our cute swan. We'll head off this area. Again, you can get through either side there. Oop, apparently I have a flower. You can access the water for fishing. Now this takes you up to what would be Lord Mallory's court. This is where I have a Dreamlight tree here. This is kind of like the pixie dust tree, my version. We also have a well there for the celestial well. Maybe that's where they house the pixie dust. Here is his throne room. Nice little area, lots of frosty, cool feeling. I love the ice feel. It definitely helped with the build. And then this little space where Ariel is at is where Dewey, the records keeper, is. And I thought that Olaf's little cave there would be perfect for like the Hall of Records, where he would go ahead and have all those books and everything about fairy lore and what's this and that. So that was kind of my inspiration with this space. Lots of cold colors. We incorporated some of the Forgotten Lands items like the trees and the bushes. Definitely just gives it that cold feel. And I love the color palette it comes up with. Now, if we head across our rocky bridge here, we come to our Frozen Inspired. This is for Kristoff and Anna, also Olaf, obviously, and Sven. We have a little space I have created for Sven. I've had this space created forever. I really want Sven. I think it's a cute little addition. I just feel he would be here eating a bunch of carrots and having a good time. Across from Sven's space is just a little seating area. I love this though, because if you were to look off over there in that direction, you have a really pretty view across the river. You also have Anna's beautiful ice sculpture statue here. I thought that was kind of a nice little addition in the space. As we follow the path, we come up to Olaf's personal house. Like, this is when he needs to get away from Anna and Kristoff. Not that he probably ever would be, because I feel like he is the clingiest snowman in the world, but this is where he comes. He's got all his little snow people here that he has created, as well as the little snow buddy and his own personal flurry. We have a nice little courtyard area for Kristoff and Anna, and we have some of the items. Again, this little vase thing is from the Christmas Star Path. If we were head off to the left, we then have two spaces. It's split up. We have our little sauna space here. This is becoming one of my favorite items. I'm loving the look of it. It's every time I see it, I just love it. I don't know why. But we have our cute little sauna, like for Oaken Sauna. This is where it is. Of course, it's inspired outdoors underneath the gazebo lights. And then across the way, we have our lovely ice skate rink inspired area. So here you can get some hot cocoa. You can go ahead for an ice skating lesson with a little flurry cloud above it. We can roast some marshmallows, blankets, ice skates, maybe a little robe coat, areas to sit cozy and keep warm. And that, guys, is my Frosted Heights. All right, now let's go on through our lovely meadow. All right, so this area is so cute. It's bright and colorful. There's a lot of, I guess you could say, cottagecore and fairycore feel. We also have most of my characters' houses down here. At least the Disney inspired Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and Daisy are here in this section. So I kind of have it split off into two sides. So we have kind of like our little courtyard area. Now this used to have the really pretty wood clock tower, the one that everybody dreads making because Minnie had to make it so terribly. But when we got Mulan and Mushu, I wanted to go ahead and put the lovely Great Stone Dragon here. I thought he fit pretty well, especially because he's got all of the greenery on him, the flowers. I thought it worked pretty well with all the colors. We are going to go ahead and head off to the left side first. This side is where I mostly have Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy. Daisy, unfortunately, is not on this side because she came a little bit later, but this is where I went ahead and placed them. We have a nice little orchard area right next to Goofy where you can go ahead and get apples. There's some lemons and raspberries, lots of raspberry bushes around Goofy's. We also have kind of like a little dock deck area. This is for Goofy's private fishing. He and I get fishing on a lot. We enjoy each other's company and we have fun catching fish. So as I head over here, right next to Goofy's side of his house, he has his stall. Now, this I did a little bit of additional decoration. Sometimes I do that with his stalls. Sometimes I just place them in an area because they kind of have decorative with them. So, but this one I kind of made a little bit more personal. Like we have some crates, maybe a little sack here that has some seeds in it or something, you know, some just additional items for his stall. We have a nice little seating area as well. And then it leads off to Mickey's space. And also our traveling well is here. Now, originally I did not have this here. I had the traveling well where I have Daisy, and this used to be a seating area, kind of like with picnic tables. But when Daisy came, things had to change. All right, we go over to Mickey's little place. He's got his cute little red bench here. And he is right next to Minnie, of course, and they kind of have combined little gardens. Like Mickey has mostly like fruits and veggies, where Minnie has some, I guess some fruits, but hers is mostly the flower one. So if we go to the side here is Mickey's cute little garden area. We've got some gardening tools, a little shed, and of course a cute little garden for him. Obviously garden items here. He does have a fall vibe with some of his stuff, which I don't mind. He has, of course, really nice views. He can see all of the partying that's going on down there. But we've got this area all nicely set up. I don't use this garden. It's mostly a decorative purpose garden. So we've got that there. And then you can go ahead and walk over to Minnie's, which we've got some of the beautiful cherry trees. We've got some gooseberry bushes here. And of course, all her little flower beds. She's all set up. Looks really cute. I love the white picket fence with her. We also have a nice area for fishing across the way still. Nice little open space, but filled kind of greenery. You know, it has that meadow feel, I feel like. Then off to the side of her house, we have her private little picnic area. Maybe she has picnics with Mickey here, maybe even her and Daisy have a nice little girls' day picnic. Again, using one of my favorite picnic blankets and a bunch of flowers for Minnie. Now, across from Minnie's and on the other side, we have our little flower area. So this is pretty much my flower shop space. So we have a figment topiary where I have all of the flowers that spawn in this area. I kind of keep them all around that space. And as we go down, we have a nice little pathway with some of the magnolia flowers on the bottom. We have Beast's beautiful flower stall here. I love this. I was so happy when we got this. Actually, I used to have a figment topiary here, but when we got this, I knew exactly where it had to go. We have another little teeny stall here with some other flower items. And as we go up, it definitely has a fairy core vibe. That blossom house is the best, one of the best houses. It's so cute. I love the big flowers. I kind of really wish we would get the big flowers from like Alice in Wonderland around that, and I just put them everywhere for that. But we also have some of the pumpkin lanterns here. I did have this area filled with a ton of flowers. This is actually the space I did my In Bloom Dream Snap at. If we were to head off to the left side of the house, we have just a teeny little area here. I kind of picture this as like the area where maybe you have some flowers growing out there where you come out and pot some things. Maybe this is where you keep like your fertilizer, that sort of stuff, seeds for the space. So that's what we've got there. Nice little seating area. So you can go ahead and look off over to the little beach a little bit. Although we got that rock there, but you know, there's still a nice view. And then as we go around here, you also have an entrance or exit to the space. I have a couple of the arches. I do love these arches. I still think they are a great item. Even though we've gotten some better arches, I still love them. These definitely have more of that cottagecore feel because they have that rustic vibe. If we were to follow the path back, we come by Daisy's. So now Daisy, I picture her not having too much. I mean, she's got a nice open space, little picnic area, some flowers, and of course Stitch is outside her door serenading her apparently. But I don't see her with too much of a green thumb. Like I feel like maybe Minnie or Mickey are the ones that come over and take care of her flowers and that sort of stuff. Or even she makes Donald because, you know, she's a fancy girl. She's kind of bougie. She's got her own boutique. She does her own stuff for the newspaper. So I don't feel like this would be totally her vibe. But we are making it work for her. All right, and as we follow the pathing back again, we come to where I have my house. Now this is my Queen of Hearts build. I did have a bunch of roses around, but I have, they kind of disappeared after the update, so I'm not sure where they went. But this was inspired, of course, by Alice in Wonderland. We have like painting the roses red. We have beautiful archways, lots of pinks and everything, just because this house is so colorful anyway. Lots of florals. We have a couple fountains here, seating areas. We have little picnic blankets off to the side. On both sides, a little more romantic one. We have a little teeny apple orchard because you know the Queen of Hearts needs her apple tarts, so we have to have those. But that's just kind of how I have my little space there, and I use that as my main house. So that is my entire little meadow, guys. All right, so our next tour is for the Glade of Trust. Now, of course, we have two little areas off the glade here, and it's right next to my house, but we are going to go down this one. Now, this goes ahead and takes us to a nice little area, again, inspired by Tinkerbell. Of course, her house is in here, very fairy core. A lot of the items in here are actually foliage items with just a few furniture items. So I wanted to kind of try and do builds where you use some minimal and mostly that foliage items to show that you can still do cute builds. And we had to use the cute Tinkerbell arch teapot house. It is so adorable. We have a custom rug here. We also have some of the Rapunzel lights. Again, very fairy core. Lots of the pink, which you know is not Tinkerbell, but I wanted to use all of these sakura trees so bad. And then we have our Absalom caterpillar here. You know, we had to throw him in. Definitely fairy vibe to me, fantasy. We've got a couple swans. And then, of course, I placed the house where we could go ahead. If walking under it, we could access the rock bridge to go over the water to the other part of the glade. Now, this area, again, it's a real small space. Another fairy inspired, like I said. But you kind of just walk around, lots of pinks, lots of foliage, and a couple of the starlit projectors to kind of give that fairy vibe. If flowers spawn here or mushrooms spawn here, we go ahead and just keep them because it totally goes with the build. If we head off in the other direction, we now come to our provincial town inspired for Belle. We have a cute little bear hiding in the woods right next to our new little companion house for Tiana's little crocodile buddy. We also have our well in this portion of the build because I feel like the town would come and use the well, so it's also kind of that useful for them. And besides traveling, we have lots of cute little seating areas. We use a few different houses here. We have the purple cottage, we have Gaston's house, of course Belle's, and the cute little provincial library. We have Goofy's stall set up here, and he is definitely well decorated here. We've got some crates, a cart here for him. We even have a side stall off to there with some more vegetables and everything. We are using the cute little Remy Ratatouille fountain. I love this fountain. Obviously, Ratatouille is in Paris, France, and the Beauty and the Beast story is a French story, so I thought it just worked perfect. And it definitely had more of the feel of like the fountain that is found in her village. So I kind of went with that. This area over here with the purple house is kind of selling some fabrics. We have Gaston selling some of his eggs. Just here, a small teeny stall. Off to his house, the side here, we also have an area where he can go ahead and practice some archery. We can access our mining nodes. I try and keep all of my builds where I can access everything and use everything. That's also why I didn't overdo the items so things can naturally spawn. Our library here has a bunch of library books sitting out for people. You can also go off over in this direction and it takes you to one of the worst characters. Well, I just don't like her. Mother Gothel. She is so evil. She's got a little space. I had to kind of give her a little something something, and she also has her little garden over in this area. Now, if we head back on through here, we go ahead and come to Belle's little cottage. We also have a little sitting area real quick by the library here. I love her cottage. Well, it's actually her father's cottage now. She lives with the beast in his castle. So anyway, this is such a cute cottage. I love the water wheel off to the side. I mean, it really does look like her cottage, and I think it's so cute. The colors, it definitely has a fall vibe feel to it, and I am totally here for that. I also love the little well. Off to the side of the house here, we have a little space here. Maybe this is where Philippe would be. You come here, he's got his little horse's cart there, some hay, you know, a little shed for some items that might be kept in there. But that would be a nice little space for him. If we were to head off to the other side of Belle's house, down the pathing, we again have another one of our cute little picnic areas. Like I said, I love putting these in. It's just kind of a nice little cozy vibe to our cute little cozy game. As we head over the bridge underneath the spooky awning, we come to our cute little Snuggly Duckling Tavern for all our so-called ruffians. So this was a fun build. If you guys haven't checked this out, please do. I have an indoor and outdoor build I think you would enjoy. We have a little space here that is hidden behind for our little outhouse. The only time I actually use this as an outhouse. Most of the time I use it as a shed. Here, it's officially an outhouse. And as we walk over to the side of the Snuggly Duckling, we have an area where I feel like this is mostly for people to go ahead, like get their supplies, like the boat brings the supplies to the Snuggly Duckling, and this is kind of where it's all left off. As we head back this direction, we have again our backyard area, or the back space for the Snuggly Duckling, but this is like where you can go ahead and have your horse at. So any of the ruffians that are at the tavern, they can go ahead and bring their horses here. We have little horse troughs, which I use the stone items. They're the hot stone things before we got the trough that is in the Mulan collection, but this kind of like a little area for them. We also have a nice little space over here that is kind of like an outdoor cooking area for the Snuggly Duckling Tavern, and some place where people can come out and sit here if they would prefer to be outside having their warm beer. I picture it obviously would be a warm beer. They didn't really have ice. But yes, they did. I mean, Sven and Kristoff do ice, so maybe, you never know. It'd be a long trek. But anyway, this is the back area for archery practice, or however you see it. Gaston uses it. All the ruffians come out here and practice their archery. As we walk through our little wooded area, we will come out to another spooky archway. This will also take you to the back side of Mother Gothel's, but if you were to go through this, we have our Fountain of Youth build. Now this build is inspired by the Pirates of the Caribbean, so I tried to match up a little bit as best I could with the Fountain of Youth from the movie, but I also wanted a build where I could go ahead and use my pillars, and I thought it would be kind of a nice little addition to add them. Like, obviously it's the Fountain of Youth, so there's something magical about it, so you want to go ahead and include the pillars, which are also magical themselves. I use this as like, it is kind of like an ancient city that may have been crumbling, kind of like Atlantis. That's another reason why I picked here. And so we've got some foliage overtaking. We have some touch of magic water rugs on the bottom here, like the water kind of flooded and has taken over the area. Certain pools, of course, you can walk through it, but a nice little space. A lot of craftable ruin items here. All the pillars that we have except for 2 are here. So here's a little view this direction. I actually really like how this came out, especially with some of the trees from Eternity Isle, the way they hang the moss and everything. I think they're perfect with the vines. And of course we have a little area where we've got our chalice here, which you can walk up the stairs to go ahead and use at the Fountain of Youth. And then if you were to go ahead and head off over in this direction, it will take you under to the Tinkerbell side build. So that is my Glade of Trust. All right, and our last biome to tour is the beach biome. Now this area is actually, the side beach strip is all inspired for our favorite character, Mr. Stitch. Little Stitch man needed an entire space for himself, so it's all inspired. It's a little boardwalk, so let's take a peek. As we go ahead and walk down off to the right, we have our nice little coffee shop where Lilo and Stitch come in and of course sit right here. They have some coconut coffee and cake. I love this cute little house. I was really bummed when they went ahead and changed the footprint of it, so I did have to change this from my original build video just to go ahead and make it fit. Some of the foliage and setup is slightly different, but not too bad because mostly all it did was move the house forward. Off to the side, we have our cute little veggie and fruit truck here. This is such a cute little item, to be honest. I actually love this and adore it. We have that all set up. If you were to head off to the side here, which would take you to our Glade of Trust, we also have the little backyard space. So this is one of the areas that kind of got changed up because it was, the house was further back, so this spot wasn't as big, but now it is, like, I guess you could say doubled in size. But this is our private little barbecue area, maybe private parties. People who want some quiet from the rest of the boardwalk area could come back here and have a nice relaxing coffee or cake. As we head back on over to the boardwalk, we have our lovely little canoe club along with some surfboards outside and a cute little beach house. Now this beach house is actually our scuba and surfboard shop. I have it all decorated, and this is actually where Stitch comes to get his surfboard. So he's all happy that he lives right next to one. It also has a nice little area off to the side again where you can access for the fishing as well as maybe relax in a hammock. We have some ice cream stalls off to the side as well as off to the front area. We have Loki's shaved ice cart here. This is a cute item as well. As we follow down the boardwalk, we have a lot of beachy vibes, palm trees, and we head off to where Stitch officially has his home. And of course, surfboards. We've got some coffee here, or not coffee, but candy. This is where we have our kind of like actual beach area. I didn't want to fully use like the whole beach as a beach spot. So this is our nice little beach set up here. We've got some lifeguards on duty, but you know, they're mostly guarding Stitch's ship here, and so we've got that all set up nicely for him. As we cross over the bridge, we come to our resort style part of our beach. Now this is our Prince Eric inspired build. Little Mermaid kind of going on here, but let's go ahead and get a look from here. So as we see, this is his ship, Prince Eric's ship, and it docks here, and it's like it brings all the visitors to the resort is the idea. This is actually one of my favorite views because I love that you can see Belle and Beast Castle in the background, so it adds a lot of depth to the view and the build. Of course, a favorite view as well is Prince Eric's statue himself. We have kind of like a nice little courtyard area with some of the Hercules seating benches there. We have, of course, the main centerpiece, Eric with some of the fountain tiles, flowers, lots of foliage, greenery, that sort of stuff, just as something to give us a beachy vibe, slightly jungle vibe, but trying to keep with more of the beach vibe. But before we continue on the resort, we are going to run over to our little mini island. This is Moana's island. So this is where I have Moana. She also has a little companion house for both Pua and Hey. I also threw in the cute little Rapunzel capybara. I thought that would be a cute one to put in there. But I thought this area would be the best area for her because it also has this little raft here, and I thought that would maybe be something she would use as well besides her boat. We have Skull Rock off to the side. We have her fishing boat, a little area where she can have, you know, a nice dinner supper with Maui as well. And I just thought her house it fit perfect here for me. So we have her all set up. All right, we will head back over to the resort side of the beach, and as we head off to the side of Prince Eric's house, we have in the back area our actual, like, I don't know what you say, it's the resort party area. I don't know. That this is where maybe you could go ahead and get yourself a pina colada. You can bring the family so they can go ahead. The kids can be in the pool. We have a DJ booth for those late night parties. We have a hot spring right here. We also have our cute little spa area. Maybe you come here for a facial or massage. And then of course we have our little get together seating area, all nautical inspired. I tried to keep it the best, like beachy theme, so we're using some of, you know, the Little Mermaid. All of these are craftable items for the nautical stuff from Prince Eric, so I kind of wanted to keep with that vibe, you know, the blues, greens. We also have some of the bioluminescent palm trees here. I feel like that's one of the things that works with the DJ booth, like when they have their late night parties. If we were to head on out and follow the boardwalk off to the other side, as you can see, it brings us to Goofy's stall. We also have Ursula over here. I feel bad I didn't really give her any love, but you know, her technically, I don't know. I feel like she's an evil witch. She doesn't deserve love, but yet I gave love to Mother Gothel, so I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong. We also have our traveling well over here, but we have our entrance to our outdoor sushi restaurant. Now, this is all encased in some of the bamboo. I love it because it allows it to be outside, but it gives it like the falsity of walls. And we have some of our Asian inspired here as well. We're using some of the turning red statues to go ahead and greet us as we come in. We also have some of the turning red lanterns here. We have some of the Rapunzel floating lanterns, so it's like we're having sushi under the stars. We have a nice little Zen garden area here, along with some of the cute little craftable tea sets. I love these. I just kind of wish these were a bit bigger. I feel like the item needs to be a little bit larger. A lot of the items we use for our sushi restaurant, of course, are the Monsters Inc. sushi. So we have our cute little octopus guys crafting us sushi here. They're making us monster-inspired sushi. I'm not so sure how that would be good, but you know, sushi. The weird thing is, look, there's octopus on that sushi, and they're the ones crafting it. So it's a little bit weird. We have a couple fish tanks from the Finding Nemo collection. I love those fish tanks. I think they're really cute. But yeah, we have just a nice little setup for an outdoor sushi. We also have an exit or entrance. It even opens up just to a nice view of the ocean. Apparently Tiana is getting her feet wet. It also opens up to like kind of like a little nice little walk on the beach. Maybe you have sushi, you come up and you do a little stroll across the beach here. As we go ahead and head off over into this direction, we have Ariel. So now this was my last little area to go ahead and decorate in my beach. And I wasn't sure quite what to do with this space. I hadn't done anything for Ariel yet, but because we used all of the bamboo, it made it real kind of dark over here. And then we have the rock face for going up into the forest. And I just kind of got this vibe like it was a bit of under the sea. So we went ahead and made it for Ariel. We put a lot of the bioluminescent items underneath here, so we kind of made it look like a little bit of a sea floor. My favorite view is actually coming from the meadow downwards, because it's almost like you are being beckoned with all the bioluminescent and everything. This looks really neat at night. We have a lot of the items. I probably would have filled it with more items, but to be honest, the bioluminescent, the Little Mermaid under the sea stuff is actually really expensive from Scrooge. I was surprised when I was purchasing it all. But we have a nice little setup for her, and I really like how it turned out. So that is our beach, and guys, that is our last biome for the tour. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope my valley has inspired you. Of course, it is now time. We're gonna have to probably pull it down and do more builds for you, but that's the fun of it. That's the fun of the game, is we build something, we create it, we enjoy it for a while, and then we tear it down. All right, I would love to thank everyone, all my subscribers, anyone that likes, comments, or shares, and of course my wonderful members. You guys supporting me means everything, and you guys are wonderful, awesome. There are of course no words anymore that I can say. You're just great all around. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and we will see you at the next video. Bye.